Welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by the York Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information on the local real estate market, presented by leading experts in the field.
Welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Morgan York with the York Group of Downing Fry, and today we're joined by our host Jim York and his guest Crystal Kinzel, Collier County Clerk of the Circuit Court.
Thank you, Morgan, for the introduction. Well, Crystal, thank you for coming on the show. I know this is a continuation of another show that we did, but people that maybe haven't seen the first show, tell them a little bit about yourself and what your duties and roles are here at the Clerk.
Thanks, Jim. I have a background in finance and accounting primarily. I came to Collier County in 1988. I started as the finance director for the sheriff. And in 2005, I came to work as the clerk of courts, in the clerk of courts with Dwight Brock. In 2016, he made me chief deputy, and I was elected when Dwight unexpectedly passed away in the summer of 18. I ran for office and was elected clerk, so I've been the clerk for the past 2 years. So I have 15 years here at the clerk's office. My broader background, I have experience with hospitals, NASDAQ, Association of Retired Persons right out of college, and my degree's from George Washington in Washington, D.C. So I have a pretty varied background in computer implementations and finance and accounting primarily.
Well, I want to thank you for, during the last 2 years, how accessible you have been to us in I'm in real estate, and the realtors and our board giving us information that we need to help our customers. And I know Dwight did that before he passed away too, and you've continued that tradition. But today we're going to talk about figures, okay? Tell us a little about what's going on, in our business, what's going on with foreclosures and evictions, and just give us a little update on that.
Yes, well, we talked a little bit in the first segment that one of the impacts to everyone was the stay on foreclosures and eviction notices.
Right.
So in early April, the governor, and then he has extended it several times, they stayed eviction notices and foreclosure sales for that period of time. Now the last extension expires tomorrow, July 1. So it will be a significant part. We have about over 100 foreclosure sales that were stacked up during the last 2.5 months or so. We're scheduling, I think there are, let me check my notes here, there are 2 sales scheduled, July 6th and July 16th, and we'll start holding those sales to the public again under controlled COVID constraints, with protocols for distancing and some other safety aspects. But we are going to get back unless there's a stay that's issued today. But right now it looks as though in July we will get back to holding foreclosure sales.
And maybe you don't know this, is it going to be, before it was like maybe once a week or twice a week? Are you going to do more foreclosure sales during that period, or you know what I mean, each day do more of that to catch up, or you're going to do more days during the week?
I think we will probably do more events.
Okay.
July, we're starting to open easily,
right,
to make sure the processes all work, and that our employees as well as the public remain safe.
That's true.
Without large crowds. So I think we want to get through, we have 10 on the 6th and 3 sales on the 16th. So we're going a little slower, just to make sure everything works properly.
Exactly.
But once we're comfortable with those processes, yes, I think we're going to have to do catch up, because I know that's been one of the calls that I've been getting from the public, are particularly evictions if they have a bad situation in a property that they own, or in even a space within their home that they've rented out. The stay on evictions created some real angst in the community. So we're going to do everything we can to get those caught up for the citizens.
Is the sale going to be in the same location in the building on the
No.
third floor? Or
No, actually, to accommodate the spacing, thanks for asking, because I would have forgotten to mention
well,
that.
I did,
but we
it's a
did,
tight room. So.
Yes, it was a tight room, so we've moved it over to the 5th floor in the Board of County Commissioners Administrative Building. That way we can spread people out a little more and accommodate a larger crowd safely. So thank you for reminding me of that, but it'll be on the 5th floor of the Board of County Commissioners Administrative Building.
In tax deeds, are you doing those?
Yes, we're going to also be doing tax deeds. We have 4 scheduled, but those aren't starting until August.
Okay.
Some of them have been cleared up or resolved in the period of time that they were also on hold or pushed out. Tax certificate sales also from the tax collector got some delay actions.
Okay.
So everything's pushed a little bit out. We will again take those slowly, but we're adding the tax deed sales back in August. We have, I think, only 4 scheduled for the very beginning of August. Anyone can go onto our website, though. I should probably mention this, so if I forget a detail or if I forget a sale date, if you go to collierclerk.com, you can drop down into foreclosures and it will have all the pending and most current information available to the viewers. So always go to collierclerk.com that way if I forget something, it's right there for them.
And we'll have it on the screen
Pretty good.
too. So how are you dealing with the loss of revenue or that the county is because of a tourist tax and et cetera? How are you dealing with that?
Well, and it's impacted us significantly in 2 primary areas. For the Board of County Commissioners, it obviously impacted the tourist development tax.
Right.
We lost a little bit of season there, as well as just routine hotel visits, weekend visitors. So the sales tax was down. Fuel tax down because people didn't drive when they were at home and staying at home. And the other one is sales tax. Because we didn't have as much business, the restaurants weren't open, sales tax is taking a significant hit statewide. Collier County is very blessed in that we have a very good history of economic security. We do have good reserves. We always prepare for hurricanes. This time it came in a little different form of COVID, but we should be okay. We just had our first budget workshop with the board, and they're looking at maybe projects slowing down until we get through the rest of the summer. There'll be 2 budget hearings in September, and those will really give us a little more of a guide on where the shortfalls were on the revenue for the Board of County Commissioners in our non-court role and our Comptroller role. But we also had significant hits to the courts. Because the courts were closed, have been closed for a couple of months, statewide, the clerks are down about 90% of revenue for April.
Wow.
Now, thank goodness we started to get back on board in May, but remember, things like citations and those types of revenues are what sustain our operations. So clerks are taking significant budget cuts across the state. They're looking at as high as a 13% cut between now and the end of our fiscal year for every clerk, because it is spread budgetarily across us all. Again, we're fairly lucky here in Collier. We always plan for hurricane season, which is in the summer, so we don't make large capital expenditures, or we don't make things that we can put off. We wait and see how it goes for hurricane season to acquire some of those things. So we were in pretty good shape when it hit in the end of March. I think we will be fine. I don't want to have to furlough employees or do any of those draconian measures. That impacts us all also in our service levels. So on the court side, we've taken a hit. Knock on wood, fortunately for recording and some of the property transactions, we've been very, very lucky to be able to e-record, e-file court cases. So some of those processes have sustained our revenues here. And we're on pace really in recording. We're doing about even up or better than I would have expected considering the other revenue streams that we have. Recording is holding steady. With we have filings, we've recorded over 200,000 records so far in June. January through June.
June, right.
Right, so 6 months in, we've, recorded over 200,000 pages of recording, so, and over 60-some thousand documents. So that's kept the processes at least through earning revenue to sustain those operations.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of refinancing recordings
Probably.
and sales, obviously, too. So with the interest rates
Yes.
being so low, people.
Yeah, we've had, let's see, in May we did about $8.4 million in transactions for, doc stamps
Right.
and other recording for
Okay.
purchasing and through property.
Right.
And already in June, for 20 days, we're over $7 million
Wow.
in doc stamp and other revenues. So those are either sales or other refinancing transactions that we do generate fees. So we've been very fortunate there.
Well, I'm glad we're in a sound community here, and I appreciate you coming on the show and giving us a little update on 2 shows, really, part 1 and part 2. And I look forward to talking to you maybe in the fall. Weren't you opening up a satellite office in the fall?
Well, we actually are a little ahead on that. That was the Eagle Creek move.
Okay.
Now Heritage Bay.
That's the one I was.
Yeah, Heritage Bay, they've actually pushed out at the last budget hearing. They don't think that will come until later next year.
Okay.
So they did contract for a builder, and that should be online in 2021
Okay.
for our community.
Well, again, thank you for coming on the show, and
Thank you,
you
Jim.
for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Marco Island, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Think of the most experienced York Real Estate Group, associated with the #1 brokerage in Southwest Florida, Downing Fry Realty, which produces yearly real estate transactions of over $1 billion. Jim, Michael, and Morgan make up the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty, with over $275 million in sales transactions, along with offering over 25 combined years' experience in the local market. The Yorks can offer the experience and trust you need in a realtor. Call them today at 239-273-6727 or visit their website at www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.